So you're making wontons?
Yes.
I'm getting told to go away now. Okay, cat.
That's another thing I have to do is potatoes. But I'm going to do obsessive prepper style and not cook them this time.
Yeah.
It saves about an hour's worth of work because it takes me about an hour to peel all the potatoes. And then cook them and can them. So I'm just going to peel them using my handy dandy potato peeler and cut them up and drop them into the jars. Not hot enough yet.
And this is your bean sprout mixture.
No, this is my wonton recipe. This is chicken, ginger, salt and pepper, and I think I used chives as well as green onions. I found a bag of what looked like green onion tops in the freezer and threw them in, and then I realized I think it's chives. So it doesn't really matter what you put into the mixture. It's whatever you and your family like. I had chicken thighs that I had to use up, and since you can't eat pork, well, I wouldn't use pork, so I used chicken.
So these wrappers seal just by putting a little bit of water on, eh?
Yep. You can
Weird.
use eggs or an egg wash, but since I only have 2 eggs left, I figured I'd just use the water.
Hey, it's not my fault you only got 2 eggs.
Yes, it is. You didn't go into the grocery store the way I do and wander until you find everything.
You told me get chicken flavored cat food.
Yes?
I did.
Well, you didn't wander around and find out what else I need. Why do you think I never take a grocery list? Because I always find stuff I need.
Yeah, I can do the same thing walking into a tool store, but you don't like that. Okay, I've got your roast just one second. I gotta get cat
The
off.
reason we are discussing grocery shopping is because I've been sick since the beginning of the year pretty much. So I'm doing all sorts of things to try and get healthy again. And one of them was having some abscessed teeth pulled. And it turns out that they pulled all my top teeth. So Dawn had to go to the grocery store yesterday because I was not about to wander in after having that done. And since my cat seemed to be more on my mind than my husband, I told him to get cat food and forgot the eggs.
Okay. Well, we know who's more important here, eh?
No, we just know who makes life more miserable if they're without something.
Well, now, dear, really. I can't comment on that in public.
The cats make life extremely miserable for someone when they are out of food or their favorite food. I was told to put the cats on a diet because the one had gotten huge. And so I got a diet type food and I mixed it with the regular food. And I went back when they said they were done and asking for more. And it turned out they ate all the food they liked and left the diet stuff. I didn't have that oil hot enough, so.
Okay, why don't you do it in a deep fryer?
Because they don't flip as easily. I did the egg rolls in the deep fryer and I had a hard time getting them to cook, so I thought I'll go back to the wok and it worked better. I don't know how these would do since these aren't the same shape as egg rolls, but besides I had it out from yesterday.
Okay, I can understand that. What are you doing now?
I ran out of skins
So you're just gonna put this in the fridge?
in the freezer.
And this is breakfast, eh?
Once they're cooked, yes. Well, seeing how it's way after breakfast time, we call it brunch.
Okay. So are these ones in the not hot enough oil going to be ruined?
No,
Just take a while longer to cook them?
about a minute or two longer.
Okay, I got my glasses changed. I can see now. Getting old to bugger. Especially when you wear bifocals. It smells good. And how do you like burnt fingertips?
Don't do this at home.
Where am I now, dear?
You're not doing it.
Okay.
This from a guy who handles hot metal all the time because he's a welder.
Oh no. I do a lot more concrete work now. What, did it start coming apart?
No, I just saw some air bubbles. Figured I'd get them out.
What's wrong with air bubbles?
They float.
Well, duh.
I don't want them to float. I want them to flip. See, they get too puffy. That's a good one. That one's got too puffy.
Dear, I got the camera down here.
You've got hands. Move them.
Yeah, and then I'm looking at the bright light.
But no, if they get too puffy, they you get more crust than filling. So
Hey, I like the crust.
I know. But the grease sits in there, and when you heat them up and try to eat them, you burn your chin.
Ah, so it's to keep the grease out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I always make sense. Just not everybody can understand me when I make sense.
I better shut my mouth. I don't want to get into that much trouble. Been a husband a long time. I've learned the golden rule. Shut up.
I have never told you to shut up.
No, but there have been many times I wished I did shut up. Yeah, well. So that's it. That's how you make my breakfast. Those are called wontons,
Yeah.
and they're fried.
Yes. You can boil them and put them in wontons, in chicken soup or wonton soup. But if you're just going to eat them as a snack, you gotta have it fried.
Yeah, those boiled ones you gave me yesterday when you were trying it out. Or was it the day before?
That was just the day before.
They were, well, I won't say gross, but I didn't appreciate them.
See, you can make them this dark, you can make them lighter, or you can make them darker. If you want to make them lighter, then you can put them in the oven at about 400 degrees, and they crisp up nicer. If you make them too dark, you can stick them in the microwave, and they don't brown anymore, but they don't come out crispy. So it sort of depends how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
I've made up about 75 of these in the last 2 days, so I'm leaving them fairly light so I can put them in the freezer.
What is that noise?
That's your cat ball.
Oh, Okay.
We bought a toy for the cat, and you drop it, and it makes a weird it makes a yahoo, and please don't do that.
Why not?
Because it's not going to be the right temperature.
Okay. I just wanted to find out.
It should be around 350 degrees.
Yeah?
Yes. The way I test it, you can take a chopstick and put it in, and if it bubbles all around the chopstick, it's ready. Or you can take a little bit of cold water on your fingers and snap it in, and if it bubbles, then it's ready. Or you can do what a lot of people do. They use a thermometer.
Yeah, it's normal people. Us ones who go by recipes when we cook.
Only because you didn't start cooking when you were 8 years old.
When I was 8 years old, if I went into the kitchen, my mother said, "What are you doing?"
Well, when I was 8 years old, I walked into the kitchen and my mother says, "Oh, good, you're here. Help out."
Yeah. The only time I got allowed to cook anything in the kitchen was when my parents were out. I'd gone out and raided the neighbor's garden, and I brought home parsnips, and I fried them up.
You sure do have weird... When we raided a neighbor's garden, it was the cherry tree, the apple tree, the plum tree, the pear tree. We left the vegetables.
I grew up in a mining town. There weren't many trees.
And then as we got older and once somebody had a car, we'd go out and raid the farmers' fields for corn.
I don't know if there were any farms within 100 miles of where I grew up.
There weren't.
It's called the far north. Oh well. So leaving them in for that long cooks the insides, right?
Yep.
Alright. Well, I'm going to shut this down and go get ready to eat. Yes.